In the aftermath of their transgression, Zachar, Adam, and Nechibor, Eve, found themselves cast out of the Garden of Eden, their paradise lost. As they stepped beyond the familiar borders, they entered a world vastly different from what they had known. The once welcoming landscape now seemed harsh and unforgiving. With every step, Zachar, Adam, and Nechibor, Eve, felt the weight of their disobedience upon their hearts. They carried the burden of their actions, knowing they could never return to the blissful existence they had known in the garden. But even in their sorrow, Elohim, God's love and mercy was still with them. In the distance, they spotted a glimmer of light, an angel standing guard with a flaming sword, barring their way back to Eden. This celestial sentinel reminded them of the consequences of their actions, but it also represented hope, a reminder that they were not entirely forsaken. As they journeyed forth, they faced the challenges of a world that was no longer in perfect harmony with their needs. The ground was indeed covered in thorns and thistles, making their path treacherous. The once abundant fruits were now scarce, and they had to toil and labor to sustain themselves. But amidst their struggles, they clung to the promise of redemption and reconciliation with Elohim, God. They sought solace in prayer and penance, seeking forgiveness for their disobedience and yearning for the restoration of their relationship with their Creator. Over time, Zachar, Adam, and Nechibor, Eve's family grew, and they became the ancestors of all humanity. They shared with their descendants the story of their time in the Garden of Eden, the temptations they faced, and the price they paid for their disobedience. They warned their children and their children's children to heed Elohim, God's commands and walk in righteousness, for they knew all too well the consequences of straying from his path. Though they were no longer in the presence of Elohim, God, as they once were, Zachar, Adam, and Nechibor, Eve, held on to hope, believing in the promise of a future Savior who would bridge the gap between humanity and the divine. Their faith in Elohim, God's ultimate plan remained unwavering, and they looked forward to the day when the serpent's deception would be undone, and humanity would be redeemed. As they continued their journey, they built altars and offered sacrifices to Elohim, God, seeking his favor and guidance. Even outside the Garden of Eden, their devotion to their Creator remained steadfast. Thus, chapter 3 of the book of Zachar, Adam, and Nechibor, Eve, recounts the beginning of humanity's exile from Eden, their struggle in a world marred by sin and the seeds of hope they sowed for future generations. The story of Zachar, Adam, and Nechibor, Eve, teaches us about the consequences of disobedience, the power of faith, and the enduring love of Elohim, God, that never abandons those who seek his forgiveness and grace.